Hey, this is Blair Lewis with Namaster. Quick video on why you suck at interviews. And let's face it, most people suck. But that's good news. Because if most people suck, the people also interviewing for the job that you're interviewing for, they most likely suck. So, what I want to do first and foremost is frame how you go about an interview. Most people go into an interview like they need the job. You need to go into the interview as if they're recruiting you. Flip the mindset, because it's just as important that you make the right decision as it is for them to make the right decision in hiring you. So you go in with a discerning brain. All right, with that frame, I offer you 5 tips. The first one is you've got to learn to tell detailed stories and build suspense. If they're asking for a situation where you overcame a difficulty, you need to tell a story in which they appreciate the difficulty that you overcame. Don't breeze by it. Marinate in it, build some suspense, and then provide at the end a solution to that suspense. Oh, thank God he solved the problem. So you want that person who's listening to you to go along the experience with you and to feel that pressure building and then be relieved that you solved the problem. Now, that leads to point number 2, and that is, let's be smart about the amount of time you spend answering. I always tell people, picture an egg timer. I know that might be a little antiquated, but you got about a minute to a minute and a half. If it takes you longer than 90 seconds to give your answer, you're going way too long, way too detailed. Stick and move, stick and move. You're like a boxer. Third, do not bad talk previous employers. If I've ever recruited you and put you up for an interview, you've heard this story. I don't care if it says on your resume that from 2010 to 2013, you worked in hell and your reporting boss was Satan. You better figure out a way to spin that for the good. I learned to work in hot spaces. I learned to work in tight quarters. I learned to work with a boss that had unrealistic deadlines, and I thrived in that environment, and here's why I'm better. And that leads to point number 4. Every answer that you tell during an interview needs to end positively. If you're overcoming a difficulty, the last 10 seconds should be celebrating how you overcame it and the success that you had. If you're explaining a weakness you had, you explain why overcoming that weakness is a strength for you. You've got to end with them thinking, man, there ain't no mountains in front of this person. They overcome everything. They need to be seeing you as someone who can easily overcome and surmount any obstacle. Numero 5 is ask questions as if you're the one discerning whether or not this is a good job or not. Asking about, when do you plan on hiring this? What's the next step? Trust me, this is why most people suck at interviews. Actually research the firm. I tell people a minimum of an hour to 2 hours of research on the firm interviewing you. Who's interviewing you? If you can figure that out, go to their LinkedIn profile, figure out where they went to college. Pray to God they put on there that they like mountain hiking or something like that, so you've got something to hook your fingers into and grab some purchase to this person, because at the end of the day, that person and you, both humans, and so you've got to connect on a human basis. So ask questions. What did you struggle with when you first got here? Who's the best person you ever hired, and why was that person the best? How do I get in this position and make myself noticed immediately? What do the best people who come in do? Has someone had this position before? Are they still there? Can I talk with them, if I move to the next process? You are discerning. This is a career for you as well. Stop hanging on like it's the last thing on earth and act as if they are going to be lucky to hire you. You follow those 5 steps and you frame it correctly, and you can stop sucking at interviews.